Hey guys, this is Crafty Pig. So today we are doing something a little different here on my channel, and we are doing a top 20 book series. So what I'll be doing is I will be telling you the name of the book series, for example, Ever After High. Let's go with that. And then I will tell you a little bit about it, a little bit about who wrote it, possibly, if I know anything. Which one is my favorite. I might throw in some random rabbit trails. I don't know exactly. So, it will be really interesting. So, let's get started. My first favorite book series is Ever After High, and these are all the Ever After High novels I have. I won't go through all of them, but my favorite one is The Legend of Shadow High, which is my favorite because I like both Ever After High and Monster High, and this one really combines them. It shows a lot of character development for all of the characters, going from being afraid of each other to being friends, and that is why it's my favorite. So yeah, that is Ever After High, Monster High, The Legend of Shadow High. Okay guys, so another book series that I really like is the Star Wars books, and I have a ton. These are just the adult ones, and these are like the kid ones, and I have a couple more. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of the frame. I have a couple more, but they're like the big, like, picture book ones, so I didn't stack them up because we already have a bunch, and this is already gonna fall over. So, I don't have my favorite Star Wars book yet, but it is called Catalyst, and it is a Rogue One novel, and I really like it because it tells it from the perspective of, oh, what's his name? The bad guy. I know a bunch of you out there. I have a bobblehead of him. Here, I'm gonna grab it. I'll be right back. I have a Krennic. I can't remember his first name. But it tells the story from his perspective and the perspective of Galen Erso, and it's pretty cool. I have a bunch of these. If you guys are interested in seeing a collection of my pop figures, let me know. Okay, so that's the Star Wars books. I have way too many, and they're gonna fall on me. They're making me nervous, so I'm just gonna, oh, that just made it worse. But these are all Legends. None of them are canon anymore, unfortunately, although the Thrawn trilogy stuff, Thrawn is in Rebels now, so whether or not it's canon is up to speculation. The Han Solo adventures aren't canon. None of this is really canon. You could take your pick with the bottom two because they happen like 1,000 years before. Well, probably more like 10,000 years before the Clone Wars starts. So, probably not canon, but not sure. Then in the, it's gonna fall. The kids' books, it's not canon. These are Rebels, Choose Your Own Adventure, Clone Wars, Clone Wars, Clone Wars, Clone Wars. Boba Fett, could be, could not be. Jedi Quest isn't. This is the Phantom Menace novel, so probably is. Jedi Apprentice isn't. Forces of Destiny is a toy line. Jedi Academy isn't, and then I have the Jedi Path and Book of the Sith, and those aren't canon. So, yeah, if you guys know somewhere where I can buy them, like, super cheap, like, they don't even necessarily have to be in good condition, because I just want to get them all, as long as they're not, like, missing covers or the pages. If they're, like, bent or something, that's okay. So if you guys know somewhere where I can buy more, because I obviously need them. They're not as tall as me yet, so we should do, I'm gonna see if I can convince my mom to help me do a book stacking challenge where I stack all my books up, because I think they would be as tall as my room. So, but I need parental permission for that, I think, and a wall. because they will obviously fall over if I don't have a wall. So, yeah, that's the Star Wars books. Okay, so the next book we have is The Demon King. Oh, there goes my watch. Well, that'll be fine. And this one is super cool. I just read this series last year. Well, it was this school year, but 2018. I mean, this whole time thing is confusing. But this is a whole series. I just only have the first one right now because they're pretty expensive. Because they're popular right now. But they're really good. And by the way, I'm gonna have, if I haven't already said this, I'm gonna have all the titles of the books and their authors, like all the Star Wars ones, all the Ever After High ones, that I have, in case you guys saw some that you want. So, yeah. So, The Demon King is, I love it. So much character development. I don't want to spoil anything. Some of the characters seem pretty annoying at first, but they get better. So, definitely a great one to read. So, yeah, that is The Demon King. This next book series, I do not have any of the books, and it is Twilight. And I just read these a couple weeks ago for the first time, and I'm in love with them. And I just started watching the movies. I need to go to the library and get the third one, because they're not on Netflix, unfortunately, and we don't get cable, so I can't watch them on that. But, Twilight, it's the best. Jacob is my favorite. Bella kind of annoys me, sometimes. Like, she's very relatable, but I find her annoying, which does not bode well for me if I find someone similar to me annoying. But, yeah, Twilight is up there, even though a lot of people don't like it. I really do. So, yeah. Okay, so the next series on our list is Deltora Quest. This one, like, is kind of odd because there are the novels, which are what I have, but there's also manga, which is a Japanese comic book, basically, and anime, which is a Japanese cartoon. I don't have any of the manga, unfortunately, because they're very expensive, and I don't have the anime. I am looking to get that once I get the rest of these books, because I'm still missing one of the red ones, and one of the, let me move this, because I'm going to show it to you. There are a couple more of these. There's Monsters of Deltora, there's something else, but I'm still missing a couple of these, but once I have all of them, I'll probably go on to collecting the manga, because, like, I don't read a lot of manga, but Deltora Quest, I definitely will. So my favorite book that I have is probably Tales of Deltora. And that's because it has all the backstories, all the legends, everything. And I like to dive deep into it. And another thing I really like about it is this map that's right in the front of it. And it's so cool, like, honestly. I don't remember how I got into Deltora Quest. I feel like I was reading another book series the author had written, maybe Fairy Realm. I feel like it's the same author. Same last name, at least. But I saw it and thought, oh, these look kind of cool. So, but I also, another one of my favorites is the Ultimate Deltora Quiz Book, and this isn't official, but it has, like, questions from each of the ones. The Book of Monsters. It's just very, very cool. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I really like these. If you go on YouTube, they have the anime. Well, not officially, but, like, you can find it. You can find anything. But I've only seen like a couple episodes because they're pretty lengthy, but they do have them in English dub, and that's what I like to watch. I don't mind the subtitles, but it just really distracts, and then you don't notice as much. So Deltora Quest, probably one of my favorite all-time book series. And I'm still collecting them, even though I've been a fan for at least 2 years. So, Deltora Quest. Okay, so next is Inkheart, and the books that come after it. I mean, it's called the Inkheart trilogy, but as the first book is called Inkheart, it's kind of hard. They're all really good. I haven't finished the last one, Ink Death, yet. It's just, you know how you really like a book series, but then there's just that one book that you dread reading? Like, for Star Wars, for me, that's I, Jedi, because Michael Stackpole wrote it, and I hate him. Well, I've never met him, so I can't say I hate him, but his writing is awful. So I do not, he wrote a lot of the X-Wing ones too, which is one of the reasons why I don't have any of those. But it's not really, it's not the author because she wrote all of these. I think I just really didn't want the story to end, and I didn't like the way it was headed, so I just kind of shut down. So, I'm sorry, I have a really bad cough right now, because spring has sprung, so to speak. So, but, yeah, these are really great, and I'm crying just thinking about it, because, they're so great, but they're also really sad. There is also an Inkheart movie. Not as good as the book, obviously, but, I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah. The lady who wrote these also wrote Dragon Rider, which I really like. But didn't make my top 20 list. So, yeah. Inkheart. Okay, so next up is Septimus Heap and the Magical World of Todhunter Moon. And the reason these two are together is they take place in the same universe. Septimus Heap, who the book series is named after, is in both of them. So, this is not my favorite one. The reason I have this one is it was literally $3 brand new, so I bought it. My favorite one is probably Dark, spelled with an E, D-A-R-K-E, Dark. Just because it really shows the other side to Septimus's development. So, yeah, basically anything I say is a spoiler for the first book. But, yeah, sorry. But it's the first book. I mean, there's always something. But Septimus Heap, they're huge books. Like, this one is probably the smallest one. Like, most of them are about twice the size. So, once again, I apologize for my cough. But yeah, I really like these books. Sorry, I got lost in my head again. So yeah, Septimus Heap, Todhunter Moon, same difference. Okay, so the next series, on this list is the 39 Clues. And unfortunately, I do not have a lot of them. But they are about Amy and Dan Cahill as, right after their grandmother has died. Sorry. I think she died from cancer. It's been a while since I read the first book. But, it's right after their grandmother has died, the original series, and in her will, she has orchestrated this scavenger hunt, and they go around the world with their babysitter, basically. there's a fancy word for it, but I forget. And they have to collect these clues, fight against their relatives, and ultimately find out who they are and what happened to their parents, who died in a fire when they were younger. So, really interesting, and there's multiple miniseries. There's the originals, there's the Cahills versus Vespers. I think there's another series in there, and then Double Cross, Outbreak is the newest one, and then there are several Cahill files. So, but my favorite one is Mission Hindenburg, and not because of anything that happens in it, literally just because I got to meet the author and he signed the book for me. So yeah, pretty cool. So that was really cool to get to meet him, so that's probably why that one is my favorite, literally, just because I got to meet the author. And when you meet authors, you really do realize how real they are. They're just like real people. So, yeah. 39 Clues. Eva from Forever After Crafter also likes these. I don't remember if she told me about them or if I told her, but they are the only mystery series that I like in the slightest, except for Mary Kate and Ashley. And I don't know why, I just don't really like mystery-based series, but these I do. So, yeah. Okay, so the next book series on our list is Sisters Grimm. And unfortunately, I only have one of these, which I hate because I've been a big fan of these for a long time. And Forever After Crafter also likes them. I recommended them to her. Sorry. Sorry. But I only have the 5th one. They're really good. I think the one after this... No, it's the 3rd one, The Problem Child. That one is my favorite. And I lied. I like this mystery series too. So, I actually like more mystery series than I realize. But, like, these are action. They're not like Sherlock Holmes. There's action, but there's not a whole lot of it. Let's put it nicely that way. I don't like Sherlock Holmes in the slightest. So, but one of my favorite things about these books is the pages are all uneven. I love that. A lot of people hate it. I love it. To each his own, or whatever. But yeah, Sisters Grimm, definitely one of my favorites, and they're about these 2 sisters that grew up in New York. Their parents went missing. Man, a lot of parents go missing. Same thing happened in the 39 Clues they were dead. But besides the point. But anyway, the parents are assumed dead. They disappeared 11 years ago. About these kids who are literally nerds. Well, like nerds, like geeks. Not like the candy nerds. But it's the anagram for their secret society, which is fighting villains and saving the world. So that one's pretty cool too, but it didn't make my top 20 list. Okay, so the next series... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm moving. No! I'm sorry. Is, Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I only have Catching Fire. Sorry. That didn't sound like a reel. I'm not really sorry. Sorry. But, these are really good. And I really like the movies better than the books, but I like the books enough for them to make this list. If you haven't read The Hunger Games by now and you're above the age of, 12, you've been hiding under a rock for a while, you might want to get out from under it. They're a big thing. So they're really, really good. I don't want to spoil anything. Most people already have watched or read them. So, they're pretty good. So, yeah, definitely check out The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So, next on our list is one of my favorites, Harry Potter. It had to be on the list somewhere. I'm wearing a Ravenclaw shirt. I mean, can't leave it out. In case you didn't know, I'm a Ravenclaw. I did a video taking the Hogwarts quiz around Christmas, like right after January started. I have a Ravenclaw shirt. I have a poster. I have like 3 pins. So I'm full Ravenclaw. So if you don't know a lot about Harry Potter, you also have been living under a rock. I don't know how you don't, is basically what I'm saying. But let me join you under your rock someday, because it would be nice to get away from all these weirdos. No, seriously, if one of you doesn't know how, like, what Harry Potter is, tell me how you've avoided it this long. Like, honestly. And I will do a video explaining Harry Potter in great and meticulous detail. But anyway, my favorite book is the 5th one, which is the one I do not own. And that is for no reason, really. I just don't have it because they're like $20 brand new. And I haven't been to a lot of used bookstores lately. The first 4 I got in a box set for free at like a library program. My mom bought me the 7th one, and I found the 6th one at Chips for like $3. So, I just haven't found the 5th one yet. So yeah, Harry Potter, definitely one of my favorites. I don't know if you can tell. You can, I know. But, yeah, if you guys would like to see more Harry Potter videos, definitely let me know, because there's stuff I could do. So, yeah, Harry Potter. Alright, so, Eragon is, well, they're called the Inheritance Cycle. Eragon is easier to remember, because it's the first book. But there's 4 books. He came out with another book. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if it's related to these or not. But he wrote these when he was 16. Look at how thick these be. They be thick. They're thicker than my hand. They're thicker than this bobblehead's head. Probably not the same thickness, but you get the idea. I mean, it's just, they're thick. People don't like it when I say thick. It's besides the point. But this is my favorite one, Inheritance. These books are really great. There's also a movie, Eragon. Never really got off the ground. It was kind of lame, honestly, compared to the books. Good movie if you haven't read the books. Horrible if you have and you're expecting something great. Let's put it that way. But, it's a story about a boy named Eragon, and he finds this egg out in the forest. It's a dragon egg. It hatches. Then he's got this dragon that he has to keep a secret from the town. It's really dramatic. And by the end of it, he's facing off against a tyrant king and his half-brother. And it's great, okay? And I probably just spoiled it accidentally. But it's amazing, and it's wonderful, and it's so intricate, and there are elves, and dragons, and dwarves, and underground cities, and magic, and sword fighting, and I don't remember how to say it. Oogles? They're like trolls, basically, but nicer. But it's really great. It's awesome. There's so much lore connected to it. It only took me like maybe 3 months to read all of these, but I'm a pretty fast reader. So it would probably take you guys a while longer, but definitely worth the read. Inheritance Cycle. Okay, so next up is Percy Jackson. Just in general. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus, Magnus Chase, Trials of Apollo, the whole universe. Love it, love it, love it. I haven't read Trials of Apollo yet, unfortunately. I've read the first Magnus Chase. I think the second one's out now. So definitely need to get on those. So great. And the reason I got into them is Rick Riordan, the author, used to write 39's Clue books, but now that he's so popular, he doesn't, unfortunately. But the two books I have, The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters, both also have movie counterparts. So, really good. I have them both. The Sea of Monsters one is absolute trash. I say that in the nicest way possible. It makes no sense. Like, I'm a huge Greek mythology person, and it makes no sense. I don't think whoever wrote the script for the movie read this book or any other book having to do in the slightest with Greek mythology. I think they got a 2-year-old off the street to come and write the script. That's a little mean. I don't actually mean that, but it is a pretty bad movie. But the first one is pretty good. But I do have them both, and sometimes I do watch The Sea of Monsters just to laugh at how bad it is. It kind of lifts me up on those bad rock bottom days. So if you like laughing at bad script writing and bad movie effects, the movie is new. Like, it's only been maybe 2016 it was made. At, like, the furthest back. So, but the books, amazing. A lot of people stopped reading during Heroes of Olympus because of a personal choice of one of the characters. Unfortunate, just press through it, move along, don't let that get you down. I'm not going to say what it is because it is a spoiler. But amazing, amazing. It's such an intricate universe. It's amazing. And I know I just keep saying that, but literally, these are, like, the best. Pretty much any library will have them. School library, public library. I don't know about a university library, but public libraries definitely will if they have a teen section or kids section at all. They'll at least have the first series because these are super popular. So definitely check those out. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is the first series. The Lightning Thief is the first one. I don't really have a favorite one. The one that's coming to my mind is Mark of Athena, but it has been a couple years since I've read these. Definitely need to reread them because they are awesome. So, yeah. Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. Okay, so next up is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. The movie came out a couple years ago. There are 4 books. You guys have probably either seen the movie, read the books, or at least heard about it. The books are pretty small compared to a lot of the ones on this list. I have only read the first and second ones because my library does not currently have the third one in, so I have placed a hold on it, so as soon as it comes back in, I will get it. But the movie is really good too. I personally prefer the books. I have a t-shirt that says the book is always better than the movie. There are very few exceptions, except for the Hunger Games, but there are very, very few exceptions. The only 2 I can think of right now is the Hunger Games and the 100, and that's 100 is a TV show, not a movie, so, but I did not like the 100 book series at all. So, yeah, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is what the first one is called. Hollow City is the second one. I'm not sure about the third one, and I know the fourth one is called The Map of Days. So, yeah. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So, next up is Bad Girls Don't Die. This one is very dark. Ghosts, death, murder by evil ghosts, possession of younger sisters, enchanted dolls, suicide attempts. It's very emotional and dramatic. So if you can't handle any of that stuff, definitely do not read these because it has all of that stuff. It has cults, control. It's not really, they don't mean to control him, but kind of like mind control. So these are really intense, and so definitely don't read these if you're under the age of like 10, most definitely. But if you can't like deal with any of that stuff, definitely don't read this. And no judgment if you can't, but they are really good. So, I think I've said my piece. They make me cry no matter which one I read. It really makes sense if you read them in order, which is Bad Girls Don't Die, From Bad to Cursed, and As Dead as It Gets. So, they are really intense. I mean, it's bad sometimes, but it's okay. It all works out pretty well in the end, normally. Sometimes people die. You just move along, I guess. So, but definitely do not get attached to anyone. Yeah, just don't, and you'll be fine. So, yeah, Bad Girls Don't Die. Probably the most depressing book series on this list. Okay, so the next book, this one is literally one of my favorites, and Dread Nation. And it's so cool. It's basically asking and answering the question, what if at the Battle of Gettysburg, whenever you killed someone, instead of them staying dead, like, most people do, they turned into zombies. So basically the middle of the Civil War has been interrupted by the zombie apocalypse. And it is about this African American girl. Super cool, super awesome. She's a warrior. It's amazing. And besides the fact that it's one of my favorite books of all time, I got it signed. So, pretty awesome, pretty cool, amazing. She's like the coolest person ever. She also wrote Lando's Luck, which is a kid's Star Wars book, and it's awesome. So, super, super cool book. Super, super cool author. Bad synopsis from me, sorry, but Dread Nation, super awesome, super cool. So, yeah. So, this one I never would have read if we had not had a book club on it. So, it is called The Game of Love and Death. And I'm just going to read the back for you. For centuries, love and death have chosen their players. They have set the rules, rolled the dice, and kept close, ready to influence, angling for supremacy, and death has always won. Always. Could there ever be one time, one place, one pair whose love would truly tip the balance? Meet Flora, an African-American girl who dreams of becoming the next Amelia Earhart by day and sings in smoky jazz clubs in Seattle by night. Meet Henry, born a few blocks and a million worlds away, a white boy with his future assured, a wealthy adoptive family in the midst of the Great Depression, a college scholarship, and all the opportunities in the world seemingly available to him. The players have been chosen, the dice has been rolled, but when human beings make moves of their own, what happens next is anyone's guess. Achingly romantic and brilliantly imagined, The Game of Love and Death is a love story you will never forget. And it is so cool. It's amazing. Like, it's such a tiny book, but there's just so much in there. And it tells it from Death's perspective, from Love's perspective, from Henry's perspective, from Flora's perspective, from Henry's older brother, adopted older brother's perspective. It's amazing. It's sad, it's happiness, it's so great, okay? Like, I never would have read this book if it had just been sitting on the shelf, because there are more interesting book titles, honestly. But it's amazing. So definitely read this one if you can find it. It's kind of obscure, but amazing. So yeah. Okay, so the next book series on our list is Ivy and Bean, and these are for smaller kids, I guess. but I love it so much. And like, it's amazing because like they're always getting into trouble, but it's just awesome. Bean is this mischievous girl. She's always getting into trouble. And Ivy, although she has an eye for mischief, she really does her best to behave, but is often led astray by Bean. And it reminds me a lot of me and my friends when we were younger, especially one of my friends, Lily, and we would always hide from my older sister and be so mischievous, and it was so fun. So Ivy and Bean really brings back fond memories for me, and I'm sure it does for a lot of people, because most younger kids are really mischievous. So yeah, Ivy and Bean, definitely good for younger readers. There's at least 5 books, because this is the 5th one, but it's so cool. Like, honestly, I know I'm pretty old to be reading books with pictures, but it's amazing and it never gets old. So yeah, Ivy and Bean. Okay, so the next book on our list is The Bone Witch, and I do not have this book, unfortunately, so I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It is about a girl who can basically resurrect people from the dead. So her brother goes off to war and comes back dead in a coffin, as you do, and she doesn't know that she can resurrect people, but then she accidentally resurrects her brother. So then another bone witch, so to speak, finds her and takes her to train her. So, there are 2 other books in the series that I have not yet read, unfortunately. They're on my list to do so, but this one, really good. I recommend it. So, The Bone Witch. Okay, the last book on our list I also do not have, and it is called Ender's Game. There's actually 4 books in the series. I've only read the first one, Ender's Game. There's also a movie, which is pretty good. I watched the movie a long time ago, so I don't remember a lot. But basically, Ender is selected for a training program where he will become a soldier to fight these aliens. Keep in mind that Ender is 11, maybe younger. So it's very traumatic. His older brother he has an older brother and an older sister, and they both play very important roles in the story. His friends all play important roles. Computers and technology play very important roles. It's just very cool. Very sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek kind of feel, but without actual space battles, you know? So yeah, Ender's Game, that's the last book on our list. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what top 20 you want me to do next. I was thinking TV shows, movies, music, like fandoms. Like Ever After High is a fandom, so that would be like including TV shows, movies, books, everything. Just, you know. Top 20 favorite toys, candies, junk food, healthy food, meat, I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do. Just let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time on Crafty Pig. Bye!